Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I got a smile on my face because I always take tea leaves from everywhere I can find them, man. And I just so happen to be following uh, the Jazz uh, podcast today, Locked On Jazz. I just decided to check them out at random and listen to what they had going on. And it was David Locke, the head of the whole network, which was kind of shocking to me because I didn't correlate the fact that it happened to be the big dude on their network who I had been following. I was just following the Jazz and said, "Ooh, this dude can talk, the sport in a way that I can learn from in a real way." Well, I'm telling you, I'm bringing a tea leaf to you directly from that dude, and this tea leaf is this: we got a lineup that we tend to start that doesn't really work for us in the plus minus. And we should try to move around in regards to that. Let's get away from that lineup. And that lineup is D'Angelo Russell, Troy Brown. Let me skip back to the shooting guard position. Malik Beasley, Vanderbilt, and AD. For whatever reason, that lineup is a minus 12, and we should probably steer clear of starting that lineup or even using that lineup for that matter. It's one of the worst lineups we have apparently. So, yeah, I think we're getting to a point where we understand who we are, though. At the end of the day, when I look at that lineup, I say the reason why it doesn't work mainly is because Beasley is in the lineup small, not playing defense, and also not making shots. If he's hitting his shots, that lineup is going to go crazy. And also Vanderbilt. When you have Vanderbilt in the lineup with Beasley, you're doubling down on offensive issues. Or rather, not really offensive issues if Beasley's making shots, but defensive issues as it pertains to Beasley, and then offensive issues as it pertains to Vanderbilt. So you're kind of doubling down on one-sidedness that don't necessarily mesh with one another. And then you try to make that make sense in regards to what type of spacing AD is going to be dealing with if Vanderbilt is not a threat and Beasley's not necessarily hitting shots. It then becomes a situation where D'Lo is often not as effective himself, because often he would be having to pass the rock to players that would often not make the shot in that situation, usually trying to get it to Beasley and the shot wouldn't make, or to Troy in that situation. And it's just not enough offense that would be guaranteed. Troy is such a wild card because a lot of times you throw him in there and he's really, really good, and then a lot of times you throw him in and he does nothing. So that makes for another inconsistent piece in that lineup. So putting it together hasn't worked for us, and him telling us that just put it in my mind to bring it to you guys and have it reiterated more so on the internet, so we stay away from it. These are the type of things that I think I want to do a little more, is just try to listen to other podcasts and just go into different markets and try to gather as much of basketball knowledge as I can, different tendencies as best I can, to kind of add to my game, and as everyone should when we call ourselves knowledgeable and try to share with others. So yeah, man, that was kind of cool, just stumbling onto the Jazz podcast there, and then ultimately taking that nugget away from that gentleman there. And at the end of the day, we're trying to play for basically all the marbles right now. I look at the situation LeBron James is facing right now, and he really has a chance to get his fifth NBA championship ring. And of course we're going after 18 as a franchise here, having just captured our 35th, 100th win, which I'm certain is an NBA record. And so I just look at the LA Lakers and I say, we stumbled somewhat into a very special opportunity. And I'm not saying that, I believe that we are the favorites to capture it necessarily. I think I'm a bit more pessimistic, as you guys know. But at the end of the day, it really looks good if we can just stabilize our units, the various units that we use, particularly get back Mo Bamba, as already been mentioned in the previous video. And of course, keep everybody else healthy, man, and continue to get the most we can out of everyone that we play. And I think the Los Angeles Lakers are in a great position to do some good things, man, especially if LeBron James is feeling great. With the championship experience that this core already has, when you consider the fact that D'Angelo Russell has thrived under the bright lights and has shown that he can be clutch and hit the final shot, and that he's can be reliable to run the score up and keep scores up. In the event that you face certain types of situations where stars aren't on the floor, you can count on Schroeder, you can count on Austin, you can count on these guys to step forward and really provide the production necessary to withstand whatever rest that AD and Bron will need throughout a playoff series or whatever foul trouble we may find ourselves in. I like the idea that we can throw more talent at teams. If for some reason we do get an injury or two to our shooting guards, God forbid, we still got shooting guards that we can call on that would legitimately give us production. And these are things that I just think can really help you in a playoff series, as mentioned many times. So as we go into these playoffs and I look at teams around the Western Conference and I realize most of them don't have reliable benches, I look at us and say that we really are a contender. I don't think it's hard to see where the Lakers will be able to withstand certain things that maybe some won't be able to. Now, that doesn't have to necessarily translate to us winning basketball games. We have to do things correctly, including clock management and various different things, hitting free throws, for which we, who pay attention to our team very closely, know we are not perfect yet. But no team in the Western Conference is. I think every team pretty much is flawed in some major way. And because of it, it balances out everything that we may or may not be able to do. And it's like I said, as we're getting Mo Bamba back, I just feel so much more confident that we could play defense in different ways that maybe we wouldn't be able to before he comes back. Against taller players who will have the ability to do multiple things, stretching the ball out to the three-point line and then further doing damage in the paint. Mo Bamba's length should be able to assist our players. When you put Vanderbilt on the floor with Bamba, Rui Hachimura on the floor, LeBron James, you got so much length that you can toy around with the lineups that we have, that there's rarely a reason to find yourself not being able to match up with pretty much anybody. And when you consider what other pieces are also there that I think can do even more, like Max Christie and his ability to possibly guard the perimeter, we could explore certain things that I don't even think we've tried as of yet that may help us in the playoffs if we would have mastered. So in my mind, this team is versatile, and it just becomes a situation of whether or not that core can stay healthy so it can reach its highest peak and ultimately outclass whatever superstars will come our way. But in terms of the pieces and whether or not they can compete with various benches around the league, there's no question this team has the ability to compete with every bench there is if Mo Bamba is completely healthy and the rest of that roster is as well. You know what I mean? He is the difference, I think, for everything that I've been concerned about in regards to the roster after making the trade. If he's not down there, I just don't know if we have enough length to deal with some of the bigger guys that are going to be coming at us with more, superior talent. But if he's down there, we should be able to match up with all teams. And with AD playing at this level, we should be able to put ourselves in a position to win all the games that we're in, I feel like. So that's really what it comes down to. AD's level of play. Where is he at? How does he feel? Is he healthy? Can he make it through a series? And 2, stay out of foul trouble, as we've talked about. And then from there, will other players continue to play well? Will Austin Reeves' playoffs be as good as his regular season has been? Can we keep him healthy? These things are going to be important. D'Angelo Russell, will his health hold up? We know he'll be able to shoot the ball at a high level. Well, will he show up every night to give us what we need, or will there be off nights that lead to the Lakers not having enough? Dennis Schroeder, can he reincorporate himself into this thing, or does he need to have a more centered role in order to be as productive as we need him to be? These are things we have to really figure out. Will our coach lean on Malik Beasley in the right ways? And if so, will it be to our betterment or to our detriment? You know what I mean? This is a very important thing. And so I'm looking at the Los Angeles Lakers as a team that can do some really good things, as I've been talking about all year long. If we were to make a trade, there was no question we could put ourselves in a position to do good things. We made the trade, and the trade was better than we even thought it would be in terms of giving us multiple pieces that can both defend and shoot and give us length that we ultimately need in youth. That depth that we have now just gives me the confidence that we know, there are teams out there that just don't want to see us. So that's really what it is. I wanted to give you guys a little more of my thoughts. The game does, in fact, start at 6 o'clock this evening, not at 5. I was mistaken both times. So we got that clear now. And, Utah's going to put up a good fight, They're out of their center, Walker Kessler. He's out for the season. We know that for certain now. With that concussion, they're just going to sit him. And it's probably for the betterment of their circumstance to just make sure that everything's 100% with that guy. because they know they got themselves a gym right there. I was listening, of course, to Locke talking about, Kessler and the numbers that he's been putting up and how well he's been doing. They're definitely excited about that dude. So going forward, I just think that you're going to have to respect his rim protection ability and his rebounding ability when you face the Utah Jazz, because whatever it is they're going to build, he's going to definitely be a part of it. So that's what I will say there. I'm just looking at this game tomorrow, the Clipper game, and I'm just wondering if it makes a lot of sense to probably rest LeBron James. I know we could probably win this game without him, to be honest with you. We probably can. Looking at how things are going to be set up tonight, I want him to play. Don't get it twisted. My urgency for him to play is great, and if we lose this game and he doesn't play, people will go nuts. But I'm just looking at that Clipper game, and I'm saying we're going to need him to be 100% for that. Regardless of what happened tonight, he need to be ready for that. And that's the reality of it. And I feel the same way about Anthony Davis. The bigs that they're going to be throwing out there are Hazubuki and Damian Jones for the most part tonight. From what I understand, I don't think Markkanen's going to give it a go tonight either. So, they're looking at a situation where they're not really sure what exactly they're going to be doing either in terms of their rotations and stuff like that. And because of it, it just might make sense for us to kind of scale back on both Anthony Davis and LeBron James tonight. Keep them healthy for that Clipper matchup tomorrow. Because I'm telling you, that Clipper matchup, even though Paul's not down there, that team is more than capable of doing some very, very devastating things. And we know Russell Westbrook's going to play very well against us. We know that. And so it's going to be a dogfight trying to match his intensity and his energy tomorrow, knowing what's on the line. And they're playing for the same thing we are. At the end of the day, they're trying to keep that sixth spot. They don't want to find themselves in the play-in tournament by any stretch of the imagination. And the strange thing about it is we're also dealing with the Golden State Warriors, who are in the exact same position. All three of these teams just so happen to have older players that definitely do not want to be in one-and-done situations or play extra basketball, which the play-in tournament would provide. So we need to keep these two teams back, and that means winning both of these basketball games. But the thing about it is just as I said, you don't want to find yourself in the same situation the Bucks were in last week, where they played the Indiana Pacers and ran the score all the way up. Drew Holiday had 50-something points, and then the next night they had to play the Celtics and got blown out by almost 50-something points because they had nothing left. And that's what we just can't afford to let happen to us, especially since we got to fly tonight after this game. And so it's just one of those situations where I would not have been upset if Bron misses this game and is already in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing with a good night's sleep ahead. But that's not what's going on. I think everybody's going to try to give it a go, but we'll see. He's questionable. But just for what it is that we're going to see tonight, I would be very happy if we don't see too many minutes from Anthony Davis and LeBron James, and that would depend on how well we're playing against those guys, of course. But this is a D'Lo night. This is an Austin Reeves night. This is a Hachimura night. Vanderbilt for sure, since they're going back to Utah. Beasley, if he gets on the floor, we expect him to shoot the ball a lot and hopefully well. And so that's the kind of night we're expecting tonight, That's the kind of night. Maybe we can get some big play out of Wenyen Gabriel, since we know Mo Bamba's coming back. This might be one of them games where he might want to remind everybody, he needs that playing time, that kind of thing. So we'll see, man. I know Hachimura's definitely in a good groove right now, so I do expect for us to kind of feature him a bit more than we had been, kind of scale up his usage tonight, see what he can do for us a little more than maybe we normally would have, since he's in this a bit of a groove. And D'Angelo Russell, I wonder how the foot's feeling, given the fact that he had missed the second half of the Rockets game, given the circumstances tonight, since everybody appears to be possibly sitting on the Utah Jazz side. Maybe we decide to kind of rest D'Lo a little bit and feature Dennis Schroeder a little more. I don't know. I'm just thinking about this back-to-back and understanding that we've caught a break with their roster being as depleted as it's about to be. Maybe we might want to amend some of what we were going to do to kind of fit what it is that we may be seeing. Because I don't want Anthony Davis playing 80, 40 minutes tonight or something like that, or anything of that nature. Going up against Damian Jones and those guys, that doesn't even seem reasonable to me. We should be able to win those games with some of our other guys. So it's going to be on them to do that, regardless if AD and Bron are going to be at full strength tonight or not. It's going to be on those other guys to flex. Play well, take these guys to the rim. Obviously, they're going to be lacking what they need, so get their bigs in foul trouble, stuff like that, as we always say, and hit our free throws. Most definitely hit our free throws. So that's what I want to say, man. That's where my head is. Very happy that Bamba is now doubtful. Never know, we might see him tonight. Doubt it, but never know. So that's where we're at, man. This game starts in about an hour and a half, and we're very excited about these next 2 games, man. LA Clippers are gonna give us all we can handle. Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard, they're gonna really try to bring it to us, and they know we're gonna play this game tonight. So I know they're gonna try to bring it with energy. We just got to be ready for them, man. We got to be ready for them, and we got to understand that this is a 2-game situation. Ain't no sense in even thinking about overlooking the Jazz tonight. We take care of the Jazz tonight, and then we take care of the Clippers tomorrow. Simply put, BDL 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.